So the new data type for today is another list type, and there is some controversy over how it's pronounced. Um, I typically go with tuples, although there are people that insist on tuples. I don't really care. You can call it whatever you want. Like GIF and GIF online, the pronunciation of technology words always has to be an issue. But I go with tuples because I grew up in the age of Tupperware, and that's what it reminds me of. That used to be a thing where they would have parties and sell, yes, containers to keep your food fresh. It was legendary back in the day. But anyhow, so that's why I call it a tuple. You can call it a, a tuple if you want. Maybe you call it Tupperware. I don't know. Whatever you want to do is fine with me. That's not really the domain of this class. But tuples are rather simple. There are two things that you really need to remember about tuples. Number one thing is that they're indexed like a list. You access their values via an index. Unlike a list, though, a tuple is immutable. You can't change it, you can't add to it, you can't change value, you can't delete values. What you might be wondering right now is, why would you use something like this if you can't change it? The most common reason for a tuple is to pass a couple of values in a pair or a number of values as a grouped argument to a function. So you can pass a tuple into a function that contains maybe x and y coordinates on a screen, for example, or things like that. You also might use a tuple to store settings for an application that you want to keep static. You don't want them to be able to change because they're settings. They're sort of baseline things there. They're hard-coded into the application. So those are reasons you might use something that's indexed and immutable. You won't use them very often. What I want you to notice is that unlike the square brackets and the curly braces of lists and dictionaries, we have parentheses. The way that Python knows that this isn't referring to a function is because there's no function name here. Okay, so in the absence of a function name, if you just say variable name equals and then go straight into the parentheses, it's going to assume a tuple. Okay, so that's the difference. So you can recognize a tuple by the presence of those parentheses with the values inside.